So I just went through an absolutely horrible ordeal restructuring my Terraform project so I could better align it with what I feel like is an industry best practice for environments. My mic died, call it serendipity. So unfortunately I have to, but rather than make you live through that painful ordeal, I wanted to have what I felt like was a production ready layout where all my environments were structured in such a way that they were isolated from each other. And they all had their own variables, but where possible, I used modules. And I did this by creating an environments folder. And then in that, well, better yet, let me actually just show you what I did. So I have my standard modules folder, but I went ahead and created an environments folder. And inside there, I created 3 different environments. Now my modules folder is different because you'll see I have a global module. So let's first take a look at this global module where my SSH key is created. And then the output that this module outputs is the ID of that SSH key so that that can then be reused. So that's all my global module does right now. Pretty much every single environment is identical in its configuration and setup with a few minor changes. For my backend, you'll notice that each one has their own backend and it copies Terraform, its state file, to a very specific location. That way, there would never be any cross-contamination of state. If you deploy to the same backend and it used the same Terraform state file, in your staging environment could overwrite your dev environment. So I didn't want that. So I created separate backend files for each one. And then I called the global module, had it create the SSH key. I had to have a different SSH key for each environment. But other than that, the server module is virtually identical for each one. Providers is the same for each one, although you could be in an instance where you would use a different provider for development versus for staging or production, which is why I wanted to break that out. And then the other beautiful thing about breaking this out into files, I don't have to specify a vars file because everything's just Terraform vars. And then I can supply those additional variables in this file. It all deployed fairly smoothly. The problems that I ran into was mainly with the SSH keys. I needed to create separate SSH keys for each one. I didn't anticipate that. I thought I could use the same one, which was somewhat foolish of me because the state file goes out there and looks and says, oh, there's an SSH key. So then I gave it a different name thinking that would be enough. But no, it could tell when it uploads the SSH key, it could tell that it wasn't unique, that there was already an SSH key that matched that. The other thing was in this, my global file, creating the actual resource itself, because I didn't anticipate how the environment variables are used. And when I say environment variables, I'm talking about the local computer environment variables. I needed to create a variable in my global module. I needed to then use that global module's variable here in this global module. But in my development module, or when I was using this, this is where I passed the environment variable in. Now, I was anticipating that I could pass my local environment variable in the global module. That didn't work. And it's a good thing it didn't work because I kept getting conflicts saying, you know, you're specifying this twice or you're not specifying what needs to be specified. This is my Terraform variable. And then in main, I'm using my Terraform variable. In my development environment main, I'm using my local system environment variable. So I pass in my local system environment variable here in this, and that is then used by the global module to create the resource. The output of the global module then is here, which is then fed into my server, and that's the SSH key it used. It was quite a challenge to kind of get through all of that. I apologize, this video is going to be a little bit blah. I'm going to go ahead and post this code on GitHub so that you have access to it and you can kind of dig through it and you can kind of compare episode 7 with episode 8 and see the changes that I made. I do think it creates a much nicer file structure. And then this file structure can be used in the next episode, in episode 9, when I push this up to an actual GitHub repo that's using workflows. And in episode 9, I'm going to use workflows to not only run a plan on a merge request, but also lint the code and run a Terraform format on it so that it's the proper formatting, and the plan will give us an output of it so then we could see what's being changed, what's happening, and that'll let the merge request reviewer, the pull request reviewer, know, is this something I want to merge, or do I want to request changes? So that's all something that's coming up in episode 9. I'm definitely learning a lot. Terraform is super powerful, but it was a lot of fun to just kind of dig through this process. If you're enjoying what you're learning and you're enjoying learning along with me, please consider subscribing, because I think next week is going to be a lot of fun. I'll see you in the next one.